Now, Eskom's unexpected load-shedding bombshell has many venting their anger at the power utility. The blackouts, apparently caused by unit malfunctions, are expected to last a full week. Cash-strapped small businesses as well as major industries are concerned that the cuts will cost the economy. Parents and the education department are worried about the effect it will have on matric exams, with some learning centres left in the dark today without prior warning. The cuts come after a 7-month lull and a winter of relative content. To find out if we're on the path to more severe stage 4 cuts again, we're joined via Skype by energy expert Chris Yelland. Chris, thank you for joining us as always. It sounds like a plethora of problems. South Africans once again afraid of the dark. Give us an overview of just what has gone wrong here.
Well, I've heard that the problem started on the weekend, on Saturday, when a number of units tripped. And this seems to have continued. Eskom has had to use its open-cycle gas turbines on the weekend, as well as its water reserves for its pump storage system. The problem extended onto Monday and Tuesday, and on Wednesday we went into stage 2 load shedding. And we've heard today that 6 generator units are down as a result of boiler tube leaks. Half of Kuburg is down as a result of refueling. This is planned outage for refueling. Problems at the conveyor at Medupi are causing Medupi to only run at 1/3 of its normal output. Problems also at Grootvlei Power Station, all coming together at one time, plunges South Africa into load shedding and crosses the very thin line between no load shedding and load shedding and puts us into this current situation.
I guess we were getting used to the lights being on, hoping that was the new normal. But does this all happening at the same time show just how vulnerable the whole system is, the whole grid is, always, in fact?
Well, we don't get to hear from Eskom, and it's part of a lack of transparency on their side. From hour to hour and day to day, how close we are to the edge. So we live in sometimes blind faith and ignorance. In other countries, information like this is given out in real time so that analysts can see and customers can prepare. But Eskom's data is given out 2 weeks in arrears, and it's given once a week for the whole week. So you never know in real time how close we are to the edge. And we only hear of these problems after we've been plunged into load shedding. And to me, that's just not acceptable. Customers need to plan. If you can plan and you know when to take care, you can reduce the impact and the cost of load shedding. If it is sprung on you suddenly, it costs a lot more.
So as far as you know, when did Eskom start communicating? So this started a few days ago. Business groups, politicians are saying the same thing, that it's not good enough to give no prior warning.
Yeah. I heard about it yesterday morning. I heard that Eskom were in crisis mode and they were scrambling to sort out these problems. And then this morning, literally about 20 minutes before, Eskom put out a tweet on Twitter to say, I heard that there were continuing problems. Eskom then tweeted out that they were going to be stage 2 load shedding. Within half an hour, they had deleted that tweet and issued contradictory statements saying that, no, that was a mistake. It's only a maybe that we'll have load shedding. And then half an hour later, a written statement came through by email saying that they were going into load shedding. I think some spin and damage control was attempted because this has come at a particularly sensitive political time. While Cyril Ramaphosa is overseas drumming up investment, whilst the integrated resource plan for electricity is being tabled with the cabinet today, when Moody's is giving their credit rating review on the 1st of November, the medium-term budget policy outlook statement coming, on the 30th of this month, 31st of this month. Very critical political time, obviously causing great political embarrassment because truly load shedding at this time, the same day that the IRP is going to cabinet, is a symbol of failure of policy and planning in South Africa. We should never get to the stage that IRP should have been tabled years ago so that we can plan properly to avoid what has happened today.
Well, some people are saying the opposite, because Sato has said it on the show. There's a conspiracy theory that maybe this is all happening because Eskom wants more cash. It wants to show the nation. It wants higher tariff increases. Do you buy that conspiracy at all?
You know, there's something I heard that is very wise. Never put down to a conspiracy that which can be explained by incompetence. A conspiracy of this nature, first of all, is a criminal conspiracy. It is sabotage. If management at Eskom were deliberately plunging South Africa into load shedding in order to achieve a price increase, that is a criminal activity that would send them to jail. It is extremely unlikely, if not impossible, that there could be such a conspiracy amongst a number of people that could bring this country to that state. So I don't buy that argument. I think it's far-fetched.
All right, so is load shedding the right thing to do? Chris, you've said that it could have been avoided, but that would have been very costly.
You know, there are ways of dealing with this, but we have a situation where the Eskom fleet is old. It has been running hard for many years. It has not been adequately maintained, and it's like a car. You drive a really old car with your foot on the pedal, flat out all the time, and you don't maintain it properly, you can expect breakdowns more than you would normally expect. And that's really what is happening. So Eskom needs the quickest way of getting out of this fix is to improve the performance of its existing plant, because that plant already exists, doesn't have to be built. But of course, you have to spend money and time doing this. It's not a quick fix. I really laugh now when I think back to the day when Brian Molefe said, we're going to sort this out over Christmas. We're going to do a maintenance festival over Christmas. What a lot of nonsense. You know, to do maintenance on a fleet of 40,000 megawatts, it cannot be done over Christmas. You have to shut down plant sometimes for a month at a time. And if you try to shut them all down over Christmas, the whole country would be in the dark. So this maintenance and getting it right is not a quick fix. It's going to take time. It's going to take money. And the plant is old, so it'll need to be spent even more money. It's like maintaining an old car.
So a plan needs to be made. You say we'll need more resources. Many are looking to the budget that you alluded to coming up. Eskom, our number one economic risk. What are you hoping will come out soon in terms of an announcement of some possible action or plan?
You know, there are short-term activities, medium-term, and longer-term activities. In the short term, as I say, the quickest thing that should and must be done is to improve the performance of the existing fleet. And a lot of work is going into that. The next step, which is sort of a 1 year to 18-month lead time, is to bring new generation onto the grid in the form of a distributed, small-scale embedded generation, rooftop solar PV, which can bring several thousand megawatts onto the grid within a year to 18 months if we untie all the restrictive regulations and policies that discourage this activity in order to protect the incumbent Eskom and municipalities. We need to unlock the economy. We need to unlock the power of the customer to be part of the solution. And then in the longer term, renewable energy, that is utility scale renewable energy, can be brought onto the grid in 2.5 to 3 years. So that's a sort of a medium-term solution. Longer-term solutions, I believe, are restructuring Eskom and the electricity supply industry, introducing and unbundling Eskom and unbundling Eskom generation, selling of assets, and creating a much broader-based and diversified generation sector. At the moment, 95% of electricity comes from Eskom. This is a high risk. We need to unbundle and create a much more diverse generating sector in order to manage risk. Same thing applies to coal. 80% of all electricity comes from coal in South Africa. In this world that we live in today, that's a high-risk thing. We need to diversify away from coal. We've got way too much coal in the mix. We need other generation technologies other energy sources in order to diversify and mitigate risk. So it's a long-term plan, short, medium, and long-term.
All right, and thank you for your opinion. As always, that was energy analyst and MD of EE Publishers, Chris Yelland. None of that seemingly will help us this week. Eskom saying that stage 2 could stay in place for the next 4 or 5 days.